Captain Elias Kane floated above the surface of the uncharted planet in his small exploration shuttle, the soft hum of the engine vibrating through the cabin. The planet below was unlike anything humanity had catalogued before. Jagged crystal formations jutted from the ground like frozen lightning, casting long shadows under a dim green sun. Oceans shimmered with strange colors, reflecting the sky in hues that human eyes struggled to name. Sensors indicated high levels of energy emissions, far beyond anything naturally occurring. To Elias, it felt like the planet was alive, watching him, waiting. The mission was simple in theory: explore, document, and collect samples, but something about this place made Elias uneasy. He wasn't afraid. Fear was a tool for caution, and he had trained for every possible scenario. Still, the silence of the atmosphere, broken only by the hum of the shuttle, pressed on him. There were no signs of movement, no animals, no wind, no sound of water, only the planet itself, breathing in slow, deliberate pulses that seemed almost conscious. Elias took a deep breath and activated the shuttle's landing protocol. The craft's legs extended with a soft hiss as he touched down on a flat plateau near one of the largest crystal towers. The ground beneath him vibrated slightly, a low resonance that tickled his bones. He stepped onto the surface in his reinforced suit, scanning with a handheld device for life signs. Nothing. Just energy readings pulsing faintly from deep within the planet. He crouched beside a crystal cluster, brushing his gloved hand over the smooth surfaces. The crystals resonated faintly with his touch, sending a vibration through his suit. He adjusted the settings on his scanner. The readings spiked, then dropped. Something or someone was nearby. The first time Elias saw her, he froze for a moment, though his mind tried to remain logical. She appeared at the edge of the plateau, framed by the strange green light. A tall figure, humanoid but unlike any human. Her skin shimmered like liquid metal, constantly shifting between silver and soft gold. Her eyes were large and luminous, reflecting the green sun like twin moons. She wore a flowing garment made of a substance that looked alive, like it moved on its own, reacting to the light and wind. Elias had seen alien life before, but never like this. His hand instinctively went to the translator device at his belt. His voice was calm, measured. "I mean no harm. I'm Captain Elias Kane of the United Earth Exploration Corps." She didn't move, didn't blink. It was as if she were frozen, suspended in the air by some invisible force. Elias took a cautious step forward, scanning her with his device. The readings were astonishing. Her body emitted energy patterns unlike any known biological system. His mouth went dry as he realized this was no ordinary alien. She was royalty, a leader, a being of immense importance. "Can you understand me?" he said again, his voice steady but low. "I only want to talk. I only want to understand." He couldn't read them, but he recognized their function, a defensive mechanism, possibly a stasis field. Whatever this was, it had frozen her in place, and she had remained like that for who knew how long. He adjusted the settings on his scanner again, trying to detect any vulnerabilities or controls. The energy spikes he had noticed before were strongest near her chest. Elias crouched, inspecting carefully. "I don't know if you can hear me, but I can help," he whispered. He had no idea if the device could transmit thought or just words, but hope was better than nothing. Minutes passed like hours. The wind, or the absence of it, was heavy. Elias realized that the more he stared at her, the more he felt a connection he could not explain. It was not fear or awe alone, but a strange sense of familiarity. Something about her presence stirred memories, dreams he had never had. The hairs on his arms stood up, not from the cold, but from the weight of history pressing down on this moment. Suddenly, a subtle pulse radiated from the runes on the ground. Elias jumped back instinctively. The figure's eyes flickered, as if acknowledging him, and a low hum filled the air. The translator crackled to life in response to the energy. A soft, musical voice, almost melodic, came through. "Human," the word hung in the air, questioning, confused. Elias' heart raced. "Yes, I am human. My name is Elias Kane. I come in peace." He spoke slowly, deliberately. "I'm not your enemy. I only want to know who you are and why you're here." She shivered slightly, and for the first time Elias noticed a faint warmth radiating from her skin despite the metallic sheen. "Can you understand me?" he asked again. She nodded very slowly, almost imperceptibly. I have not seen your kind for many cycles," she whispered. Her gaze bore into him, wide and searching, as if trying to remember something he did not yet know. Elias crouched slightly, keeping himself non-threatening. "Your kind, do you mean humans?" he asked. He was careful not to sound arrogant, though his mind raced. Humans had traveled far, but this far, her reaction suggested something beyond ordinary history. Yes, humans, she repeated, voice trembling. You were not meant to reach here, not now, not yet. The words sent a chill through Elias. You carry something inside you. I thought it was lost. What is lost? Elias stumbled, catching himself, his suit alarms blaring. The figure remained standing, but now the frozen quality had intensified, as if the planet itself were responding to his presence. Elias realized she was connected to this place in a way he could not yet understand. The energy surging through the ground, the crystals reacting, the stasis-like effect on her body, it all pointed to something ancient, powerful, and dangerous. He straightened, his mind racing. I am not here to harm you, he said firmly. But I need to understand, I need to know the truth. The translator emitted a soft hum in response, and her eyes flickered, more alert this time. She seemed to register his words, or perhaps his intent. After a long, tense pause, she spoke again. You are of the seed, the first travelers, you carry the line of earth, far beyond what should have been. Her words struck him like a lightning bolt. First travelers, the line of earth, what could she possibly mean? Humans had never colonized this sector, never even sent probes this far. Elias' mind raced through possibilities. I don't understand. Humans were not supposed to reach this galaxy for centuries. How could you know of us? Elias took a careful step closer. Then you know about Earth, about humanity. Tell me everything you can. She hesitated, her eyes searching his, measuring trust. Finally, she spoke in a low, melodic whisper. I am Scifi, daughter of the last royal line of this world. When your ancestors first spread to the stars, they carried pieces of our knowledge unknowingly. Your survival, your presence here, it changes everything. I will help you, and you will help me. We can find the answers, but we need to work together. The air between them seemed to hum with anticipation, the planet itself waiting to see what would happen next. As she approached, Elias realized this meeting was only the beginning. Whatever secrets this planet held, and whatever connection humanity had with Scifi's people, it was far bigger than any mission he had ever undertaken. For the first time in his career, he felt both the weight and thrill of discovery, not as a soldier, not as an explorer, but as a human stepping into history. And then, with a soft, almost imperceptible nod, Scifi reached out, touching the crystal ground. The energy around them pulsed, brighter and warmer. The planet had accepted them both, and in that moment, Elias knew that the journey ahead would not only uncover lost history, it would redefine the place of humanity in the galaxy. Elias Kane followed Scifi carefully as she led him through the crystal plains toward a massive structure that seemed to rise naturally from the planet itself. Its walls shimmered with the same energy that hummed through the ground, tall spires stretching toward the green sun. The architecture was alien, elegant, and intimidating all at once. Every surface seemed alive, reacting subtly to their movements, almost as if the building itself were aware of their presence. Elias' scanner detected faint energy readings within the structure. Life signs were minimal, but something powerful resonated here. This place, it's ancient, he said. How long has it been abandoned? I was meant to inherit it, but I never returned until now. Her voice was soft but carried weight, the kind of weight that comes from centuries of history and expectation. Elias adjusted his suit's visor to enhance visibility. Even with the technology, he struggled to comprehend the size of the structure. Towers spiraled upward, connected by bridges of crystalline energy that pulsed like veins of light. The floor beneath them hummed faintly, as if acknowledging their presence. He had seen human engineering at its finest, but nothing prepared him for this. As they entered the palace, Elias realized it was not just a building, it was a living archive. Holographic symbols floated in the air, reacting to Scifi's movements. She waved her hand, and walls of light shifted to display images of cities long gone, of ships that had never been built by human hands, and of people whose faces seemed carved from light itself. These were my ancestors, Scifi said, her voice carrying both pride and sorrow. They created wonders, spread across the stars, and then vanished. The galaxy forgot us, and only fragments remained. Long ago, your ancestors traveled among the stars, unknowingly carrying the seeds of our knowledge. Some of our science survived in you in humans. You carry the line within you, traits and potential my people thought lost. The idea that their ancestors might have carried alien knowledge into the galaxy, unknowingly creating a hybrid legacy, was both astonishing and terrifying. He tried to process it. So, you're saying that humans are part of your lineage? You were not expected to reach this sector, yet here you are. You carry traits that were thought impossible, Resilience, adaptability, creativity. Traits my people prized but feared could be misused. Maybe we can learn from each other. You may need to act carefully. Every crystal, every wall, every holographic projection pulsed in harmony with the Guardian's presence. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoed through the chamber, like metal snapping. Elias instinctively raised his hand toward his weapon, but Serapha placed a delicate hand on his arm. "Do not," she whispered. "The Guardian senses fear and aggression. It will react." Light walls moved to form a corridor, guiding them toward a central chamber. Elias noticed symbols etched into the floor, glowing faintly. They pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, almost as if reading his intent. His training kicked in. He had learned to remain calm in life-or-death situations, but this was unlike any encounter he had experienced. As they entered the central chamber, a massive figure materialized. It was humanoid in shape, but entirely constructed from the same energy that suffused the palace. Its eyes glowed a deep blue, and a voice resonated in their minds rather than through the air. "Intruders detected. State your purpose." "I mean no harm. I seek knowledge and understanding. I am accompanied by Serapha, rightful heir of this place." The Guardian's power exceeded anything he could physically challenge. He would need to rely on what made humans unique: ingenuity, reasoning, and adaptability. He closed his eyes for a brief moment and studied the patterns of energy around him. He noticed the pulses in the floor, the reaction of the walls, the subtle changes in the Guardian's energy flow. It was logical, following strict protocols. If he could speak to it in its own language, energy, patterns, rhythm, he might convince it that he was not a threat. He extended his hand slowly, mimicking the gestures Serapha had used. "I am not your enemy," he said, voice calm and steady. He began tapping a rhythm on the floor, a simple sequence of pulses he hoped the Guardian would recognize. The energy walls flickered in response, mirroring his pattern. The Guardian paused, the pulse stabilized. Elias continued, creating patterns that reflected trust and cooperation rather than aggression. Slowly, the Guardian's energy dimmed to a soft glow. Its voice echoed again, calmer this time. "Threat level decreasing. Intent ambiguous. Human verified. Partial authorization granted." "You are remarkable human. Only then will the legacy open fully." Serapha walked beside him, guiding his attention to subtle details. "Notice the energy flow. It is alive, but it responds to intent. A hostile mind triggers defense. A curious, open mind triggers understanding. Your people, humans, you are unique. Your species thrives where others fail. You are not the strongest, but you are adaptable. You are resilient. That is why I froze when I saw you. I sense the line, the Creator's blood running through you. You carry what should have been lost to time. That is why I froze. That is why I could not move. Recognition, fear, awe, it was all intertwined." He felt both pride and a sense of responsibility. The palace shifted again, guiding them toward a chamber dominated by a massive crystal interface. It pulsed with energy, and inscriptions floated above it, forming patterns Elias could not yet read. Serapha approached the interface and touched it lightly. It responded instantly, opening channels of light that projected images of ships traveling across the galaxy, maps of star systems, and archives of knowledge. "This is the core of the legacy," Serapha explained. "It records everything of my people, including our connection to your ancestors. You must understand it to know your true place in the galaxy." He realized that humans were not only capable of surviving, they were capable of mastering what even Serapha's people had considered impossible. As they stood together, Elias and Serapha understood that their journey was just beginning. The palace, the Guardian, and the ancient archives held secrets that could reshape history. Humanity was no longer merely explorers. It was part of a lineage that had been forgotten but never truly lost. And in that realization, Elias felt the first stirrings of what it truly meant to be human: adaptable, resilient, and capable of changing the course of civilizations. Elias Kane stood before the massive crystal interface, his hand hovering over the shifting symbols, and felt a strange energy pulse through him. Each light, each pattern seemed to resonate with something deep inside his mind, as if memories of ancestors he never knew were reaching out through time. Serapha observed him closely, her luminous eyes reflecting both hope and uncertainty. "You feel it too, don't you?" she whispered. "The connection, it is strong, stronger than I expected. It's like a part of me recognizes this place, these designs, this knowledge. I don't understand it, but it feels like home in a way I've never known." It was meant to survive only in controlled environments, but your ancestors carried it across the stars. You are the living bridge between our civilizations. We were meant for this, even if we didn't know it. The floor vibrated beneath their feet, and the air shimmered as the Guardian's presence grew stronger. Unauthorized activity detected. You are not yet fully verified. The legacy will not reveal its secrets without trial. The Guardian's voice resonated, calm yet imposing. Elias steadied himself. A trial, he muttered. So it tests not just knowledge, but intent. Morals, reasoning, maybe courage. Symbols floated in the air, rearranging constantly. Elias realized they were inside the trial already. Each step he took triggered subtle changes. The energy beneath their feet reacted to their movements, testing balance, observation, and decision-making. What is the objective? Elias asked, keeping his voice low. Scifi studied the patterns carefully. You must reach the core of the trial, the central archive, without triggering defensive protocols. That will require intuition, logic, and something uniquely human. Sensors in his suit detected energy fields that would immobilize or harm them if misstepped. Elias studied the patterns, recognizing subtle sequences. He realized that the Guardian tested not strength, but perception. This is incredible, Elias murmured. It's like the maze is alive, learning as we move. Many have failed because they tried to force their way, relying on power instead of understanding. Humans, you are capable of thinking beyond predictable logic. That is why I froze when I first saw you. The line of Earth carries unpredictability, creativity, and courage. But instead of avoiding it, he carefully traced a pattern in the air with his hand, matching the rhythm of the floor's energy. The glow shifted to blue, indicating a safe path. He realized that by observing and interacting rather than fleeing or forcing, he could navigate the trial. Scifi followed closely, her attention divided between him and the shifting symbols. You are correct, she said softly. Humans excel where logic alone cannot predict. That is why your species survives, adapts, and thrives. Each time, Elias relied on observation, intuition, and calm reasoning. He noticed subtle inconsistencies in the illusions, using them to find the true paths. At one point, a wall of energy rose in front of them, nearly blocking the corridor. The symbols on it pulsed rapidly, signaling an active defense. Elias studied the pattern, then used a simple principle. He matched the timing of his steps to the pulse, moving in rhythm with the energy. The wall dimmed, then melted into the floor, allowing passage. Scifi's expression was one of awe. You are proving it. The Guardian does not expect such adaptability. Only humans could succeed here. He realized these were memories embedded in his DNA, a hidden inheritance from the hybrid line Scifi had spoken of. This is incredible, he whispered. It's like I can feel their experiences. It seeks those who can honor the legacy. We can do this. For the first, he proposed coordinating relief efforts using minimal resources. For the second, he suggested negotiation strategies emphasizing common goals rather than aggression. Each response demonstrated human creativity, adaptability, and moral reasoning. The holograms shifted, showing results, planets saved, conflicts resolved, lives preserved. The Guardian pulsed, then spoke. Assessment complete. Human demonstrates adaptability, empathy, creativity, and courage. Worthiness verified. Every piece of information had been waiting for someone like him. A human, capable of understanding, capable of bridging two civilizations. Scifi watched him with a mixture of relief and pride. You have done what few could. You are the living proof of the Creator's vision. Humans, you are not only survivors, but inheritors of knowledge lost to time. Every revelation was astounding, but what struck him most was the message repeated throughout the records. Humans were unique. They thrived where others could not, adapted when others failed, and preserved hope when others gave up. This changes everything, Elias said, turning to Scifi. We are not just explorers, we are part of a legacy. A line that was never meant to survive, and yet here we are. We learn, we adapt, and we ensure the legacy continues. Not with force, but with intelligence, courage, and humanity. Elias realized that the trial was not just about proving worth. It was about demonstrating the essence of what made humans exceptional. The ability to think, adapt, and act with purpose even in the face of the unknown. For the first time since arriving, Elias felt the weight of human potential. Humanity was no longer limited to the Milky Way. They were part of a lineage that extended across galaxies, a species capable of bridging civilizations, surviving impossible odds, and shaping the course of history. Scifi turned to him, a faint smile lighting her face. "You are the proof. You carry the line, and together we can ensure it thrives. Then let's make sure the galaxy knows what humans are truly capable of." The past, present, and future converged, and for the first time, Elias understood that humans were more than explorers. They were heirs to a legacy that could shape the galaxy. The journey ahead was still uncertain, filled with challenges, unknown civilizations, and threats yet unseen. But Elias Kane, human, explorer, inheritor of a forgotten lineage, was ready. And with him, humanity would rise, proving once more that adaptability, courage, and intelligence were forces that no galaxy could ignore. Elias Kane and Scifi moved cautiously through the palace's deeper corridors, the hum of energy resonating in their suits. The central archive had opened doors to knowledge that humans were never meant to see so soon, and Elias could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. Every step seemed to echo with history, as though the palace itself remembered the triumphs and failures of a civilization long gone. "This part of the palace," Scifi explained softly, "contains our defensive systems. They were designed to activate if anyone approached without proper authorization. Now that you have proven your worth, some systems will still challenge you, to ensure only the capable can access the most critical knowledge." He noticed subtle movements in the crystal panels, small shifts in energy patterns that suggested automated defense mechanisms were still operational. "We need to stay alert," he said. "This is no longer a simple exploration." Holographic projections of star systems flickered around it, displaying data streams and alerts that Elias had never seen. The air itself seemed thick with static, charged with latent power. Scifi paused, her body shimmering as she assessed the environment. "The Guardian has allowed partial access," she said, "but these chambers contain systems that are still programmed to neutralize threats. They will respond to aggressive or unpredictable actions." He realized that to navigate these systems, he would need to think in ways humans had never been trained for, combining intuition, reasoning, and careful observation. Suddenly, a pulse of energy erupted from the floor. The central platform projected a holographic figure, an AI guardian, taller and more imposing than before, its presence radiating authority. Its voice filled the chamber, calm yet absolute. "Intruders detected, final verification required, threat level uncertain, authorization incomplete. I only seek understanding." He extended his hand, tracing patterns in the air that mirrored the pulsing energy of the platform. Each motion was deliberate, a signal of cooperation rather than aggression. The Guardian paused, analyzing. Its energy softened slightly, flickering as if processing Elias' intent. He spoke calmly, his voice steady. "We are capable of learning, adapting, and preserving knowledge. We are humans. We survive where others fail. Our creativity, reasoning, and courage define us." The Guardian demanded a solution for each crisis, assessing not force, but the thought process behind every decision. Elias focused. In one scenario, two species were on the verge of war. He suggested a method of communication emphasizing mutual benefit rather than threats. In another, a planet faced a catastrophic storm, and he recommended combining resources efficiently, leveraging local knowledge and minimal technology. Each response altered the simulation, resolving crises without unnecessary harm. Scifi watched silently, awe in her luminous eyes. "Your species, you think differently. You do not rely solely on power, but on intelligence, morality, and adaptability. That is why humans survive and thrive where others cannot." He realized that the solution required him to synchronize energy flows using a rhythm derived from observation, rather than brute force. Carefully, he mirrored the pulses, and the system stabilized, the potential disaster averted. The Guardian's voice resonated, calmer now. "Assessment ongoing. Human demonstrates creativity, empathy, and strategic thinking. Threat level reduced. Partial authorization confirmed. You are not only capable of surviving, they see the human spirit reflected in your actions." Energy flows became more concentrated, walls of crystal pulsing with patterns of light. Holographic symbols formed constellations and maps of galaxies, each displaying hidden civilizations and unknown star routes. Elias realized that the palace was more than a repository. It was a living record of galactic history, a bridge between civilizations that had been lost to time. "This is incredible," Elias whispered. "I can see entire civilizations, star systems, their histories. This knowledge, it's beyond anything humanity has ever known. It ensures that only those worthy, those capable of understanding and preserving, can access the full archive." Elias realized the Guardian was testing one final time, simulating potential threats to the palace's knowledge. He studied the patterns. Every pulse, every shift, every glow followed a logical sequence. Using human observation and intuition, he began to replicate the rhythm, moving in harmony with the energy. The pulses softened as he continued, and slowly the barrier began to dissolve. Scifi watched, impressed. "You are remarkable. No other species could navigate this without causing a catastrophic trigger. Humans have survived because we think, not just react." Elias could feel the energy flowing through him as he approached, his mind absorbing fragments of knowledge. Advanced engineering, starship designs, energy manipulation techniques, and strategies for interstellar diplomacy. This is beyond imagination," Elias said. "Our people, humanity, we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible. You are the living proof of the Creator's vision. It must be preserved, understood, and applied wisely." Seraph's voice broke through his thoughts. "There is one more step. The archive will reveal everything to those who are ready to wield it responsibly. But it will also test your resolve, your intentions, and your willingness to protect the legacy. We will learn, adapt, and ensure that this knowledge benefits not just ourselves, but the galaxy." The Guardian, once a threatening presence, now observed silently, acknowledging the human capacity to rise above challenges without force, relying on intelligence, empathy, and adaptability. Scifi placed her hand on his shoulder. "You are ready, Elias. Together, we can bridge the gap between our civilizations. Humanity will no longer be a myth, but a force capable of shaping the galaxy." "This is just the beginning," he said, determination shining in his eyes. "We have the knowledge, the understanding, and the will to shape the future. Humanity will rise not by force, but by intelligence, by heart, and by the unique strengths that no other species possesses. And together, we will ensure that the Creator's vision is preserved, respected, and carried forward. The galaxy is ready to witness what humans are truly capable of." And with him, humanity was ready. As they stood together in the central chamber, the palace seemed to hum with approval. Every pulse of energy, every shimmer of light, acknowledged the arrival of humans as rightful inheritors of knowledge once thought lost. Elias knew that the next steps would define not just his life, but the role of humanity in a galaxy waiting to be explored, understood, and shaped by those who dared to rise above expectation. For the first time, Elias Kane understood the full meaning of human potential. Survival was only the beginning. Creativity, courage, and intelligence would guide them into a future where humans were no longer merely participants. They would be leaders, innovators, and legends. The archive awaited, the galaxy awaited, and humanity, through Elias Kane, would rise to meet it. Elias Kane and Scifi stood in the central archive, the air thick with pulsating energy. The holographic projections shimmered around them, displaying star systems, civilizations, and technologies that human eyes had never imagined. After surviving the trials of the palace, Elias now felt a deep connection not only to Scifi, but to the lost lineage of her people, and to humanity's hidden legacy. Scifi's gaze turned toward him, her luminous eyes reflecting a mixture of pride and hope. "The Guardian has verified you. You have demonstrated human qualities that were always meant to endure: creativity, courage, adaptability, and moral clarity. Now, Elias, you must decide how this knowledge will be used." He had faced impossible odds, navigated alien technology, and proven human ingenuity in ways even Scifi had never witnessed firsthand. But this moment was different. The choices he made now would affect not just humanity, but countless civilizations across the galaxy. "We must use it wisely," he said firmly. "To explore, to protect, and to advance knowledge, not to dominate or destroy. Humans have survived through cooperation, innovation, and respect for life. That is what makes us strong. The galaxy will see what humans are capable of, not through force, but through intellect, courage, and heart." He reached out to the floating symbols in the archive, letting the energy flow into his mind. Maps of star systems, blueprints of starships, energy patterns, and historical records flowed in rapid succession. Every detail revealed how far the creators had spread their influence, and how humans had unknowingly carried pieces of it across light years. This is beyond anything humanity has ever known, Elias said, awestruck. Our species, we've only just begun to understand what we're capable of. You must lead humanity not as conquerors, but as protectors, as innovators, as beings capable of shaping the future wisely. Yet he also felt the strength of humanity, the qualities that had allowed them to survive against all odds. He realized that the trials of the palace had not only tested him, but had prepared him for the immense task ahead. As they spoke, the Guardian's energy shifted again. A holographic projection of Seraph's ancestors appeared, towering figures of light and wisdom. Their presence was solemn yet welcoming. "You have passed the tests, human," one of them said. "Your species carries the line of survival, innovation, and courage. You are the bridge between worlds, the living proof of our vision. Treat this knowledge with care, for it will shape destinies. Humanity will rise to meet it, not with violence, but with intelligence, cooperation, and courage. The galaxy is vast, and many civilizations will be surprised to learn that humans are not ordinary. We must ensure that knowledge is preserved and respected, and we must prepare for challenges that will test every quality that makes humans exceptional. Humans will prove that even against the unknown, they can adapt, survive, and thrive." They were part of a lineage that spanned galaxies, carrying a hidden legacy of intelligence, courage, and creativity. Serafa guided him to a side chamber where starship blueprints and energy designs floated in midair. "These will aid humanity in advancing responsibly," she said. "Your people are ready. Your ingenuity will turn knowledge into progress, not destruction. Humanity will rise, not just as survivors, but as innovators and protectors of knowledge. The galaxy has underestimated them for too long." The Guardian had ensured that only those capable of wielding knowledge responsibly could access the legacy. Humanity had passed, proving its worth not through dominance, but through qualities that no other species could replicate so consistently: intelligence, morality, and adaptability. They emerged from the palace onto the crystal plains. The green sun cast long shadows across the shimmering landscape, and Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had been given a glimpse of its true potential, a chance to rise beyond limitations, and the responsibility to shape the galaxy wisely. "Are you ready?" Serafa asked softly. Elias nodded firmly. "I am, and humanity is ready. We will explore, we will protect, and we will grow. We will rise to meet the challenges of the galaxy, and we will prove what humans are truly capable of. And it will remember the human spirit, the spirit of survival, courage, and brilliance that cannot be contained." Humanity was no longer just a species of explorers. They were heirs to a legacy, carriers of knowledge, and bearers of hope for civilizations yet to come. "We have much work ahead," Elias said, turning to Serafa. "We will share knowledge carefully, build alliances, and ensure that humanity's place in the galaxy is secure. But above all, we will do it with courage, intelligence, and honor." For the first time in his life, he felt the full weight and possibility of humanity's destiny. They were not just survivors. They were innovators, explorers, and guardians of knowledge. They carried a legacy that could shape civilizations, and they would rise to meet it. The wind, or what passed for wind on this alien world, whispered around them, carrying the hum of the palace and the promise of the galaxy beyond. Elias Kane, human, explorer, and inheritor of a lost lineage, felt the surge of potential coursing through him. Humanity would rise not through force, but through ingenuity, courage, and moral strength. Serafa extended her hand, and Elias took it. Together, they gazed out across the alien plains, knowing that their actions would redefine history. The galaxy awaited, and humanity, for the first time, was truly ready. And in that moment, Elias realized the truth that had shocked Serafa when she first saw him. Humans were extraordinary. They carried potential, resilience, and creativity unmatched in the known galaxy. The trials had proven it, the legacy had confirmed it, and the future would witness it. Humanity would rise, and no challenge, no matter how alien, advanced, or daunting, would stop them. Elias took a final look at the palace, its energy shimmering with approval. The Guardian observed silently, acknowledging the triumph of human spirit. Serafa beside him radiated confidence and hope. And as they prepared to return to the stars, Elias felt a surge of certainty. Humanity was no longer ordinary. They were inheritors, explorers, and legends in the making. With a final nod to Serafa, Elias activated his shuttle. The engines hummed, lifting off the crystal plains. As the green sun dipped behind distant mountains, The vast galaxy opened before them, full of promise, challenges, and the opportunity for humans to prove, once again, that they were capable of achieving the impossible. And so humanity began its next chapter, not as observers, not as mere survivors, but as a force of ingenuity, courage, and hope that would forever change the galaxy. The truth that had shocked an alien princess had also awakened a destiny that no being, human or otherwise, could ignore. Elias Kane looked out into the stars, a smile forming on his lips. Let us show them who humans really are.